Kia ora, whānau. Welcome to the Aftershow of the game between Manchester City and Arsenal. What a disappointing result. We got completely demolished 4-1. We're going to go through some reactions of the game, how we felt, our tactics, their tactics, where we went wrong, where we fell short. So, brother?
Yeah, so first of all, I hope everyone's well. That was such a disappointing result. I hope, I don't think anybody's over it, and I don't think they will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the scoreline suggests it was a hiding, and it was. They dominated. This was a game going into it where we really needed everything to go in our favor, like everything. We needed the 50-50s to go our way, the ref decisions, the VAR, our individual battles, our form to pick up. We needed all of that, and we needed City to not be at the best. But City were at their best, and pretty much none of the 50-50s, none of the decisions went our way, and we got hammered.
Yeah, we did. I feel like we started kind of okay. Couple of minutes. But even then, we looked nervous. Like, we spoke about being fearless, going out there, battling, because you kind of have to make your own luck. Like all the things you've said, we needed it to go our own way, but we didn't really fight for it either. It felt like, it felt like City wanted it more.
Didn't feel like we deserved everything to go our way.
No.
The way we played.
But
the first 5 minutes, I actually thought, you're right, I actually thought that we were doing pretty okay. Like the game started, we
kept the ball,
we looked nervous a little bit, but I think it was more cautious that let's take the first 10 minutes
and it was
not
kind of
concede.
good. Like it was good that we saw that because the other few games we've conceded quite early
and quite easy goals.
Yeah.
So I think this was a tactic to try and be like, just keep the ball, be cautious. It's okay if you're just heading side to side.
In hindsight, I was just thinking that it could have been that City was sizing us up too, because in the 6th minute they scored.
Bam! It was pretty much, I think, their first or second attack, and they scored.
It was like their first time they went over our midfield in the whole game, like in that first phase.
Yeah.
And that sort of was a wake up call. But then after that, I felt like we were still in the game. Ramsdale made some good saves. We had like a few last tackles.
I think Ben White made a really good one. Holding made a really good one. Ramsdale made some really good saves.
Yeah, he did. He kept us in the game.
Although I think he perhaps could have done slightly better for that first goal.
Yeah, it was a little bit suspect for that first goal. Right?
I mean, it wasn't like De Bruyne's shot was like a bullet shot.
He kind of
it was
just
like a pass,
and it was outside the box too.
But I mean, what a precision from De Bruyne. There was like this much gap to get the ball into, and that's the gap.
We'll talk about him later, bro. But it was world class. That guy was world class.
Yeah.
And then that second goal, that's I think what killed us. Because I think we almost made it to halftime 1-1. 1-0. Sorry. And we had kind of in a way recovered from that conceding the goal early. And in my head when I saw that I was like, oh, that's offside. Yeah, it's gonna get chalked off. And I was fine. And then bro, VAR kind of fucked us, bro. I feel like it's dodgy, man.
Yeah, well, I think
when they drew up the lines, I was just like, "Oh, bro, are you kidding me right now?"
They take the lines for the feet, right? They don't take it off the arm. Stones' arm was offside, but in saying that, if they're using VAR to check the offside, they should be checking the incident before, which is
the push on Ben White.
Yeah,
because he was just like standing there, and I think it was Walker or some. He just pushed him and that's what propelled him to play freaking Stones on.
Yeah, so
or even get close to him.
I mean, that incident should be looked at, and because of that, it should be ruled a foul. But I mean, it wouldn't have changed the outcome. I think
it is what it. I mean, like we're talking about making your own luck. That's City's luck, They kept going. They made so many chances. They got their goal, and we go into halftime 2-0. Everything changed. I think for what Arteta probably wanted to say to the team, and we came out. We literally didn't change like our tactics.
Yeah, I mean, you say that the 2-0 changed what Arteta wanted to do in the second half, but we came out and we didn't change anything anyway. So I think Arteta he's a little bit naive and he believes too much in his system and the players to do the same thing every game and each half. And so, I mean, let's get into our Arsenal side of things. I mean, firstly, we were outmatched, outplayed, outclassed by City, right?
Yeah, all departments, man. All departments.
Yeah. But the main concern was when you watch their game, it didn't look like we prepared for City. You know?
No, I agree with that.
It doesn't look like we showed them the respect that they deserve because they are probably one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
It looked like we set up to play our way, doing the same things that's got us here, which is, fair enough, but it didn't look like we tactically set up for anything that City were going to do.
Yeah. I think Arteta kind of stuck to his guns, and what he's done the whole season, he's had that belief in his players. He's had that belief in the way we have played, and he's thought that, okay, it's going to get us through the biggest game of the year. But, bro, he was schooled. We were schooled in every single department because City knew exactly how to hurt us. And we're lucky it was 4, bro.
Yeah, we are lucky, yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of a lack of respect, that you don't prepare for
the biggest game of the whole season.
You don't prepare for your opposition,
Yeah, it was really disappointing. But I
especially with our last 3 results before this that have all been draws, and the way we've conceded and the leads that we've let slip. It's a little bit naive from Arteta. I think his inexperience, or maybe his age, is kind of showing that he's such a young manager that he doesn't do this side of things.
Yeah, it was just like it felt like he doesn't want to he maybe doesn't know how to react to these situations yet because of his experience. He'll get there because he's a brilliant manager, and maybe our players as well a little bit, because some of the performances were still like also quite naive. You know, we did things that, like, in other games it would have worked, but you don't do that against City, bro. Yeah. Everyone's world class.
Yeah.
So, giving away ball in stupid areas, like pressing when we shouldn't press, like holding back, or as a team just having a deep lock when you have someone like Haaland and De Bruyne just finding those channels. Like we just
we talked about in our previous show that the way City are playing and the way
the
players they have, we should have just gone into park the bus mode and just gone on the counter. And I think if we did that,
and that's
it
probably would have against them. I think you have to look at the teams that have beaten them.
Yeah,
they have parked it.
I think it would have worked because if we just came into our own half and just sat there, locked their middle up, they wouldn't be able to bypass our midfield the way they've been doing. They wouldn't be able to get Haaland as involved. But some individual performances that we're going to get into. Ramsdale had a really good one.
Oh yeah, he was brilliant again.
I thought.
Go. No,
yeah, I thought Martinelli as well.
He was like a left back.
Martinelli had pretty much, he didn't do anything going forward, but man, that guy worked so hard. I think for about 80% of the game, I saw him playing left back and chasing back the City players when they had the ball.
And I think Jorginho, when he came on, was right. And same with Trossard, they both were.
Jorginho kind of took control of the midfield when he came on, and it really, it was different when he came on, you could tell.
Yeah. What about some of the bad performances, bro?
You could pretty much list the whole rest of the team off for that. First of all, let's start from the back, right?
Yeah, like Holding. I mean, I didn't feel like he had a horrible game. It's just, I think he just wasn't good enough. I mean, it's so sad that I'm saying that because I love the guy.
Yeah.
But against Haaland and De Bruyne, like...
Well, let's start, right? Like, I mean, with Holding, I've been praising him, right? Ever since he's come in, I've said that he hasn't been at fault for anything. He's done a really decent job. But this game, I have to say, man, it was bad. He got schooled. He couldn't get a foot. He couldn't get a foot on Haaland. De Bruyne done him. He got bullied by Haaland and De Bruyne, and his insistence on trying to press when it's not working, it's just the wrong thing. I think he just needed to take a step back. Someone just needed to tell him, don't press. it's okay, just hold off and just keep tracking back. He got schooled and it was bad, and it shows that we're really missing the composure of someone like Saliba. And I think they targeted Holding as well. If you look at the way they were pressing, they would let Holding sort of have the ball and mark everybody else so that Holding wouldn't have an option. And we know that he's not as composed, and playing out from the back is not really his strength. He got school. I thought Partey had a really bad game.
I think he did. He wasn't he was just nowhere really. We couldn't really get the ball to him anyway. And then when he did get the ball, he was surrounded by City players. He couldn't really do anything anyway. And his whole game was just trying to break down play.
But his decision making was kind of poor this game
as well.
I thought Xhaka was missing the entire game.
And Odegaard only came alive just before he got subbed.
I thought Saka had a bad game as well.
And Jesus he must have touched the ball 10 times.
I think I was really hoping that this would be a game that Saka would really step up, but today showed Saka his inexperience. He was so indecisive today, and it really, really annoyed me because every time I'd get the ball, usually he's very decisive, and he's just he'll get the ball, hold it up, and he'll be like, yep, I'm going to go inside, or I'm going to turn this guy, I'm going to run down and cross it in. But today it was he gets the ball, turns, and the defender let him turn, then he would turn back, and by that time, the City players have nicked the ball off him.
I think we weren't really fearless in getting numbers into the box either. Bro. Even Jesus, normally he'll turn and be direct, but it kind of felt like it was nervous, or I don't know. Just he tried to do it towards the end there, and then we got corners and stuff from it. But majority of the time, most of our boys were so indecisive. And then City, we'll go to the other side of the pitch. Martinelli had to play like a defender, pretty much, because City set up with Bernardo Silva, which I was surprised with, but I kind of understood throughout the course of the game, because Mahrez has been their best player, right?
He's a damn good goal threat as well.
But they played Bernardo Silva, and then they kind of overloaded their right side, our left side, and that's mainly because Zinchenko plays as an inverted fullback. So the midfield was crowded, but City kind of made that right-hand side their midfield, and they were just playing triangles.
Corner. Their tactics were
and so that kind of negated Martinelli, because his whole game was to defend. Zinchenko was
overrun, so Martinelli had to come back. It was great from Pep and City.
So,
but this is another thing that shows we have a lack of a plan B, and it's pretty much costed us, you could say, the title potentially now. Like we said, it looks like Arteta only set up to play one way, and had the same belief that he's had all season. But this lack of plan B, it's
really hurting us. Teams have figured us out, and it's not just this game, bro.
It's the last month, maybe.
Even Southampton knew
Everton.
What we're gonna do.
I mean, a lack of plan B. I don't know what to say, man.
It is inexperience, naivety. Just
we have no other way of playing. When we're getting overrun or we're getting dominated, there should be even with the players we have, there should be a different way of playing where you can say, okay, Martinelli's probably the fastest guy on the pitch, right? So you go, sweet, Martinelli, you stay out. We're going to get the ball. We're going to pump it long into their half, and you just got to run. You just got to run and get there. Saka, stay on the byline. We're going to get you the ball.
So you leave kind of like how City just left Haaland and De Bruyne up, and everyone else kind of knew what they had to do, and then they would play it in that area that had space, and then lump it to Haaland, and bam, we're exposed because Partey's had to come out and deal with the triangle going on over here. Zinchenko's there, Martinelli's there. There's a space in front of Holding, and Haaland one-on-one is unstoppable. Holding couldn't get near it.
But
and that just shows Pep being mature as a manager. It was a tactical masterclass.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get to City next.
But like, why couldn't we have? You're right. Like, why couldn't we have done it? Because we have players that have so much pace, and
Jesus is really good at holding up the ball too. You know?
Exactly.
He fights.
We have players that can do that. Like Martinelli, ball behind the top. Like Diaz or Stones can't catch him, bro.
Yeah.
And they had Kanji playing as a left back. He's good too. There's no doubt. All three of them are awesome players. Like really hard to get past, but they lack pace, which we have in abundance.
Yeah,
and we should have relied on our pace.
Yeah,
especially the ball over the top, or just and then having that discipline to park it, have a deep look.
I mean, the other thing is that our players really lacked any fight, right? I didn't see any fight from our players until we went 3-0 down.
Didn't feel like it's a freaking title decider.
Why does it take us to concede 3 goals to actually start fighting and going into 50-50? It's only when we went 3-0 down that Partey became aggressive all of a sudden and started winning his duels. It's only with 3-0 down that we actually started getting our players to attack. And it was just... And then the other thing is that why does it take so long for Arteta to make changes? When things aren't going our way, you're losing the game. It takes you... Like, he should have made a sub at halftime, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he waited. He saw us getting dominated, and then he was just like, oh yeah, maybe now's a good time.
Yeah, we talked about that before the game as well in our preview show. Like, Arteta seems to always have a plan for, like, planned subs. In this one, he had Xhaka coming off. You know, he kind of reacted. I don't know. I don't understand subbing off Martinelli for Trossard, you know, you're not changing anything.
I mean, Martinelli's our biggest goal threat. Why take him off?
Yeah, why?
Even if he's...
And it's 3-0, like, bro, we need to score goals.
Yeah.
Not just, like, get a consolation.
Yeah, I mean, why not switch it up?
What are we changing?
Yeah.
That's not changing our tactics. That's not countering what they're doing. Yeah,
Exactly.
subbing off Zinchenko, putting on Tierney, playing like a natural back four, you know, not having an inverted left back. Yeah, that's changing something. You know?
He didn't even do that. He didn't even do that.
We didn't change.
Took off Xhaka for Jorginho.
The only thing that changed that caused us to get a goal was the players fighting, and that's what he's relied on the whole year.
To claw back into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like you said, we could have changed it up. We could have put City on their toes because they were dealing with Jesus. They know Jesus really well, right? The City players. You could have taken him off for Trossard, put Martinelli up front, and told Martinelli, you stay between the centre backs on the halfway line at all times.
Or got him to rotate, bro. I feel like if he played like out wide, maybe 1-on-1, he'll definitely beat like Akanji or Walker. Both of them. I mean, Walker definitely would have had him for pace, maybe, but like he would have got around them more than I guess like Saka did. But I don't know. We could have tried different stuff. I mean, it's a could have been, should have been.
I mean, yeah. Let's face it. We got dominated, and City were absolutely brilliant, right? And
if you talk about their performances, like
let's talk about City now, because for as much as we're criticizing us that we didn't play well,
we were up against the best players in the world, bro.
Yeah. City, they were just all of their players are just world class. There's no other way to put it. They outclassed us. They outplayed us. Pep showed why he's the best manager in the world.
He kind of sent Arteta back to school.
He's won everything in the game. You know, everything. Everywhere he's gone, he's won.
Yeah.
And yet he's still set up tactically to counter the way we play.
Yeah.
And his experience, his maturity showed. And also the players they have, the ability they have, they are all at the peak of their game. Maybe you could probably say maybe not Haaland. He's still got quite a way to go with the ceiling. But he's already one of the best strikers in the world. And the rest of their players are at the peak of their powers, right? They're all kind of... so some of them are aging as well. So they have a ton of experience and they just knew how to handle us. They knew how to stay composed. they knew where to hurt us, and they knew how to carry out the instructions.
Yep. They had a plan in place, and all of them knew exactly what to do. They bullied us. They won all their battles, and then after that, they have just too much talent in class, bro. Like you saw with De Bruyne, Haaland, or other good performers. I thought Diaz and Stones were brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I thought Gundogan and Silva as well.
Yeah, Silva.
But Silva was running like a dog trying to defend.
He was so good, bro. And then like Akanji again had a good game. Like he's been asked upon to play left back, and he just does it.
He's
like
a beast. He was a beast, man.
And Walker is Walker. Like I don't think I ever see the guy having a bad game. So, bro, they schooled us. And
there's two things I really noticed for them tactically, which they did. One was to target our left side. So, I mean, Silva played right wing.
Yeah.
And they had Gundogan and they had Walker.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you might get a fourth coming in. But what they would do is they would camp that side, target that side because they knew Zinni's kind of weak on defending.
Yeah.
And they would target him 3v1, which is why Martinelli had to try and keep dropping in. But basically, every time they wanted to keep possession, they would take the ball out there and just play in triangles.
Yeah.
They would play in triangles, it would come back to Walker or Diaz, and they would ping it over to Haaland. Because everyone's moved this side, Haaland's just there, staying there by himself, with De Bruyne staying off him. Ping it to Haaland gets it.
It's 2v2.
Lays it off to De Bruyne, and they're off.
Yeah.
Every time they came into a half, I thought they were going to score.
That kind of was a really smart way to counter, Arteta's tactic of having Zinchenko playing as a midfielder, because
they bypassed the midfield.
Yeah, well, like he couldn't really be an inverted left back anymore because he had to always go out there because all the numbers were on the left. And then because you're right, because Gundogan came, and then Rodri sometimes as well was there, and Walker, like all of them in that area, they crowded it, and we had to get numbers out there, and
they really targeted our left side.
It was really smart, and I think I said that earlier. Having Bernardo Silva play was kind of a surprise, but I understand why too.
It's genius because he's not going to lose the ball out there.
Masterclass, masterclass. And we kind of don't talk about it, but like in the big games, Guardiola plays like Rodri, Gundogan, and those guys, Silva as well. I think in the midfield, because of this reason. They're so good on the ball. They kind of get it to the front two, Haaland, De Bruyne, early, bro, and Haaland. Oh my God, bro, he scored so many goals. The guy is he's still so young. Like he's gonna win the Ballon d'Or at some point, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he is class.
Yeah, we couldn't get near Haaland. We couldn't. He was so big and so strong that none of our defenders, either behind him or in front of him, they just couldn't get to him. They couldn't get their foot around him. They couldn't get their foot through to win the ball.
Yeah.
They couldn't win any of the headers. Haaland's so big that him doing like a half jump was probably bigger than Holding doing a full jump.
Yeah. And like normally we would say that defenders go home, they have a striker in their pocket. He had Gabriel and
Holding both of them
in both his pockets. I don't even think he fell to the ground, bro. Like he's so strong and quick. It's scary.
Yeah.
He's almost like not human.
Yeah.
And I thought Grealish had a good game, bro. Like kept getting in behind White, and
Grealish got the better of White, man.
Yeah.
All game.
So all over the park, they demolished us.
They did. We got owned. We got schooled. Pep with another masterclass.
Yeah, and then Pep got it right, bro. And Arteta, unfortunately, as much as he tried to have that belief, he should have, tried to change things up, and he catches his master by surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
it is what it is. Now it's in City's hands.
Yeah.
We just have to hope for the best now, win all our games, We'll talk about that later, I guess. But
we have to win all our games and hope that they drop some points somewhere.
City's hands, and don't see it happening anymore. But
that's alright. I mean, it is.
We keep going. We still love you guys.
Yeah, we still love the Arsenal, even though today's a very depressing day.
I think it showed even though we've come a long way, we have a lot to work on. Too.
Yeah, so there should be
and as Arsenal fans, I think we will all agree that we have overachieved a little bit this year.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
So
we definitely don't have the squad or the personnel
to be winning the league. If we win the league, it's sort of like a Leicester season, right? Like a miracle out of nowhere. So I'm not really phased by it, but we still have a chance. So.
I mean, I am at the moment, but we'll see. We'll see where we end up. Otherwise, hope everyone's well. Please do like and subscribe. Come on, you Gunners.